So I want to introduce to you now Ray Omgren, who's with National Instruments, and he's going to tell you everything you need to know about our next event, which is the Lego contest. Ray?
Thank you. Okay, we have a real treat for you to finish off the conference. The conference committee earlier in 2010 approached Dr. Truchard and asked him for some ideas on how we could end the conference showing some of the great things that we're doing in Texas on the mission of TAMEST to inspire the young people to pursue careers in science and engineering. And it was when Dr. T asked us at NI what to do, it was real clear what we needed to do, and that was to showcase a program called FIRST. And FIRST stands for Inspiration and Recognition of Science and Technology. And so what you're going to see in just a few minutes are 4 teams of future Nobel laureates competing with their Nobel laureates in a wonderful competition in biomedical engineering and robotics. Now, to give you a little background about FIRST, it was started by Dean Kamen, a famous inventor out of New Hampshire, who actually addressed this conference, I believe, in 2006 down in Houston. What Dean recognized in terms of why FIRST was important was that in today's society, it's harder for the children to get through the messages of sports and Hollywood to understand that there are role models out there. There are heroes that are doing science and engineering and great things. And that's different than when we were children. It's just harder for the children to see the role models than it was when we were kids. And so his whole purpose in FIRST is to change the culture so that the students would be inspired and see role models and heroes doing science and engineering instead of playing football. Now, in the communities in which we all live, it's not as big a problem. There's still heroes in our communities, and these kids do get to see the great work that happens from the researchers in this room and the groups that you work with. But in many of our urban areas, the kids don't see anything like that. All they really ever see in terms of their ability to get out is bounce, 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 shoot. So what FIRST does, instead of complaining about the excitement of sports in Hollywood, is just steal from it. Let's make science and math a sporting event. So FIRST has literally created the Super Bowl of smarts, where the kids work and exercise instead of their legs and arms, it's the muscle between their head, and they have a great time doing it. And it's very exciting, and it is literally changing the culture of the communities to embrace science and math the same way we embrace Hollywood and sports. It's having a big impact. So what we decided to do for you today is focus on the middle school program that FIRST has. FIRST, by the way, has an elementary school program, a middle school program, a junior varsity program, and a varsity program. It's not unlike football here in Texas. In fact, many of the districts now have farm teams so that they can compete at the highest level for the national championship. By the way, the 4 teams that are going to be competing for you have all qualified for a regional championship that will be held here in Austin in 2 weeks. And the winner of that will compete in the national championship in St. Louis in mid-April. And by the way, the winners of that national championship will be invited to go to the White House to meet the president. And that has happened every year since FIRST started back in 1992. So this middle school program is called FIRST Lego League, and I'll tell you just a little bit about it. There are about 171,000 students that will be competing in FIRST Lego League this year. It's actually happens in 50 countries, and this year they're exploring the exciting world of biomedical engineering through hands-on, minds-on teamwork. The Body Forward, which is the name of the competition, is a 2-part robotics challenge requiring teams to research in biomedical engineering in their project phase, and then master complex missions in robotics in the robot game phase. And one of the things that we're very proud of, as you may have heard from Duncan and Dave at National Instruments, is that the software they're using is the version of the LabVIEW that those guys create. So in the project phase, the teams research a body part, function, or system, create innovative solutions to protect, repel, heal, or improve it, and share their solutions. In the robotics phase, the teams confront real-world medical issues and apply robotics, sensor technology, and ingenuity to resolve them. The robot missions in FLL Challenge range from the familiar, including a bone repair and rapid blood screening, and pacemakers to futuristic such as nerve mapping, bionic eyes, and object control through thought. So, what I'd like to do now is introduce our team members. We have 4 teams that are with us today. They're in the back of the room. And oh, by the way, when we do the competition, we'll have a camera, so you should be able to see it on the big screen, so you don't have to all walk up there and walk around them. So, from our first team, from San Antonio, Texas, coached by Ian Clements, Diane Clements, and Jeff Call, and sponsored by Biomed SA. Let's give a big round of applause for the randomist. Now, they're joined today by their guest coach, Dr. Gilman, and he has been practicing with them, and so I'm sure he's ready to go. I'm thinking, Dr. Gilman, that we ought to change the name of the team for just this competition, and let's call them the G Proteins. How's that? Okay. All right, our second team from Austin, Texas, coached by Jim Tersigni and Jody Williamson, and sponsored by the River Place Elementary PTA, the River Place Robots. They are joined today by our Nobel laureate, Dr. David Lee. And Dr. Lee, I think our team name, your team name, we'll call these guys the Superfluids. How's that? Okay, our third team, also from Austin, Texas, coached by Vladimir Menchevsky and sponsored by Barton Hills Elementary PTA and the team parents, the Barton Biobots. They are joined by our guest coach, Nobel laureate, Dr. Johann Diessenhofer. And I think, how about we call these guys the photosynthesizers? And our fourth team, also from Austin, Texas, they are coached by Vincent Hummel and Glenn Boweries. They are sponsored by their team parents from Hill Country Middle School here in Austin, Texas, Team X. They are joined by our Nobel laureate, Dr. Robert Curl. And how about we call these guys the Fullerenes? Okay, so I've got a microphone, and we're going to get started here. I'll walk over there, and the way it works is these teams, there's going to be 2 teams competing, the first 2. They'll have a few minutes to have their robots complete some fairly complex challenges on this board game. They've been preparing for this for most of the fall semester in their spare time. And as I said, they've already competed once and will be competing again in just a couple of weekends in our regional championship. Now, Danny Diaz here, he's our head referee. Danny is an Uber volunteer for FIRST. He also works at National Instruments. He mentors a varsity team here in town and devotes a significant amount of time to the FIRST Lego League team. So Danny, if you wouldn't mind, just talk for a couple of minutes about the types of challenges that they're going to be trying to accomplish.
All right. Thanks, Ray. So today we're going to be exploring biomedical engineering. Everything on this competition field has something to do with biomedical engineering. Some of it is incredibly down into the guts of biomedical engineering. Some of it is a little bit futuristic. Let's just take a look at a couple of the more exciting things that are going to be happening here on the competition. Obviously, we know that whenever you do something in biomedical engineering, you're going to want to patent it. Okay, that's the biggest thing that we have here. We want to patent it. In the center of the field, both of these sets of teams are going to be trying to patent what they're doing. The team that gets to the center and activates their mechanical hand is going to grab the patent first. Okay, so you're going to see when the competitions opens up, the teams are going to want to race to go get that patent first. Then, once they're finished getting the patent, there's a couple other things. The first thing here is they're going to want to fix some bones. Okay, biomedical engineering, huge in being able to repair bone breakages and other body parts. So they're going to want to fix the bone breakage and actually place a cast on the bone breakage. So you're going to see that today. Also, we have a big problem with heart disease these days. A lot of heart problems. We're going to actually be repairing the heart. We've got a pacemaker along with a heart patch, and the teams are going to try to get these pieces to the heart and actually help out the heart. Some other interesting pieces, you've got a syringe where you got blood, white and red blood cells inside of it. They're going to try to separate the white and red blood cells. And then one of my favorites, you've got the brain. Okay, we were talking about exercising the brain. Well, we're going to use the brain. We're going to test neurons in the brain. And then a little bit futuristic, we're going to try to use our brain in telekinesis to open up a door. Okay, so you're going to see a little bit of a lot of things here. And we just had the World Cup. So one of the big things that they're going to try to do is they're going to use a bone bridge, sort of it's a bone bridge that connects two bones together. They're going to put the bone bridge into the leg down there, and then they're going to try to kick a soccer ball into a goal now that they have a nicely fixed and corrected leg. So you're going to see a lot of this stuff here. If you want to talk to these teams about other things here on the competition field, please, afterwards, come up, talk to the teams. But aside from that, let's go ahead and get started. There you go.
Okay, so I think we'll have about 2.5 minutes of competition. And the way we'll do it is each team will compete, then we'll have the next round. They'll compete, and then after that, we'll have our championship. Okay. Teams, are you ready?
Let's get a thumbs up.
Can I get a thumbs up from the team? From the teams? Dr. Gilman, are you ready? All right, Dr. Lee, are you ready? All right. 3, 2, 1, Lego!
All right, so these guys are trying to do lots of different pieces of this competition. They've got 2.5 minutes to do as much as they possibly can. This team here is trying to activate their ramp here to get their syringe with the blood cells. This team over here, they activated their ramp, but they pushed on it a little too hard and their syringe moved off. So they're going to try another mission here. I think this team here is getting ready to work on the heart areas. So they've got a heart patch and the pacemaker in their robot ready to go deliver that to the heart. We'll see how well they're able to solve that mission. While this other team over here is getting ready, can't really tell what they're getting. It looks like they're going to try for the heart mission as well. This team here has successfully scored for their, they may have scored their heart patch and they scored their pacemaker correctly. Looks like the randomists here are trying for the heart. Let's see here. Oh! Teams are allowed to grab their robots and restart them. The robots, we want them to be autonomous, but not completely autonomous. Oh, it looks like this team here has started their robot, but forgot a very important part. Yep, you got 45 seconds left, teams. 45 seconds. Looks like we're trying to deliver the people. One of the pieces of this game is professionals working together. So they're trying to deliver people to an engineer and a doctor to the patient. This team here has activated the robotic sensitivity part, and it looks like they're about to. Oh. Looks like they used their brains to open up the door. This team has done really well here. All right, teams, you got 10 seconds left. 10 seconds. Looks like we're going to try to get the syringe. Let's see if they make it in time. Oh, it almost. Nope. Okay, that's it. All right, teams, turn off your robots, please.
All right. Good job. Now, Madeline, so a big part of the contest is the research phase, and I know you guys did some research on Alzheimer's disease. Could you tell us just a little bit about the research you did?
Well, it's a disease of the brain, and you basically lose your memory, and it can go from really simple, like just forgetting your keys, to being really advanced where you forget how to eat and sit down.
So what was some of the things that your team proposed to improve the quality of life for patients with Alzheimer's?
Well, we came up with stimulation gloves that are just to exercise the brain. It sends a signal to tap this finger, and it's just to exercise the brain. And then we came up with a four-dimensional room where it gives the patient the experience of walking in a forest. And then we also came up with another device called the My Helper Watch. And say the patient forgot to turn off the stove and it was hazardous, so the My Helper Watch would tell the patient turn off the stove. And if the patient didn't do it, it would contact a fire department as the nearest fire department or something like that.
Wow, that's great. That's great. Very good. How about is Varun? Is Varun? Oh, okay, Varun. Can you tell us a little bit about your research project?
Well, we wanted to do something that affected the whole world, and so we tried to find a solution for leukemia. And so our solution was a nano robot that would travel through the bloodstream, and it used a chemical and a photosensor to find a leukemia cell, and then it uses a needle to destroy the cell. And the reason we chose needle over a medicine is because a medicine can run out, whereas a needle is always reusable, and you can just keep using it again and again.
That's great. Thank you very much. Are you Ryan? Okay, Ryan. So could you tell us a little bit about the strategies that you used in designing the robot that you guys just competed with?
Well, we just started out with voting and mix matching things and trying things out. And at first we had a big hunk of sensors on our robot, which those sensors were practically useless. We were trying to use them, but we figured out that the programs were too complicated. So what we did is we just took off all those sensors and kept it simple.
Did you do any of the programming yourself?
Yes, I did. I did the syringe with my friend Tim, and I also did the pacemaker.
That's great. Well, good luck in the competition next week. All right, Danny, how are we doing? The winners, which were team the randomness from San Antonio. So they'll be moving on to the next round. So now we have our next set of teams, the Barton Biobots, excuse me, and Team X. This is Team X over here, and the Barton Biobots. So Alex, can you tell me a little bit about the research you guys, which I think was done on asthma, is that right?
Yes, well, asthma is a big problem in the world. A lot of people have asthma, so that's how we picked the topic for what we did. And our motivation for our project was treatment for severe asthma called bronchothermoplasty. And we wanted to improve it, and we noticed that if you heat the lungs, it reduces inflammation. So our idea is we would inhale gold nanoparticles and then use a microwave to heat them.
Wow, that's great. Dr. Diesenhofer, did you catch that? Yeah.
I had it explained to me before, yes, so now I...
Okay, that's great. They maybe can use that up at Southwestern. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay, teams. Team X, are you ready? Dr. Curl, are you ready? All right. All right, Barton Hills, are you ready? No, not quite yet. Those last final preparations. Dr. Diesenhofer, are you ready? Okay, referee. I'm ready. All right, 3, 2, 1, Lego!
All right, so we got a mechanical patent being done. Oh, yes, and they also got their bionic eyes placed on the person's head. Looks like both teams did the bionic eyes. Oh, we got a team over here trying to put, yes, a very successful cast being placed on the arm. Over here, we've got a heart stent successfully, or an artery stent successfully placed. These teams are on a roll. All right, looks like we're going after the heart missions over here on the secondary. They got both their elements for the heart mission. Very good, Team X. All right, looks like we've got the Nobel laureate starting off here. Yep, all right. And they're going to go after, it looks like the syringe and the person. Hey, successful syringe grabbing. And we're bringing back the doctor. Very good. Right. They got it. All right, looks like over here we're going after the leg for the soccer ball kick. We're gonna repair the leg with the bone bridge, and bone bridge successfully placed, and they kick the ball into the goal. Congratulations, team. Over here we're going after the heart mission. We're gonna try to place the heart patch and the they got the heart patch. They didn't quite get the pacemaker. All right, looks like we're going to start back up on both sides. Oh, looks like the team over here is getting caught up on the leg that they kicked the ball with. One more try, and they got past it. Great. So it looks like this team here is going to go after the brain missions. They're going to try to open up the door, and they successfully opened up the door with telekinesis. Now they're trying to move over and yep, they tested the nerve endings on the brain, and they're running over the patient. He is just barely in. Yes, he is. All right. What are we doing here now? Oh, we missed. Okay. So it's like this team over here did their brain mission. Now they're trying for robotic sensitivity. They scored robotic sensitivity. Great job. Now they're going to try to dispense some medicine. They want to put down the white and the blue, but not the pink. That looks like they almost got it done. All right, guys, you have just a few seconds. Oh, that's it. Time's up. Great job. Great job, teams. This one's going to be a hard one to score. There you go.
Okay, Team X, before you leave, Nicholas. Yeah. So can you tell us a little bit about the design of your robot?
I'll just take.
Oh, sorry.
So we have a 2-pivot point forklift arm sort of here. We have 2 light sensors on the bottom to find where we are, so we can know exactly where we are on the mat. And we have a skid down here. It's a tripod, and instead of having a third wheel, because it would have to turn around, the skid makes it more accurate. We have a back wall that we bump up against the wall to know where we are. We have the wall runner, so we can stay up against the wall. And we have this right here, which if it did work, it would have grabbed the bucket. These lift up so that, like, if it hits right here, these 2 will go in. That one will go in and stay in. So, like, if it's for the bucket. So.
How about the programming? Can you comment on some of the challenging parts of writing the program?
Well, we wrote a program so we don't have to keep exiting out, going over. We have one program that has all of our programs built into it, and you just scroll around and select which one you want. And some of the harder parts about programming, this last run took a long time. We had to tweak it repeatedly, and so. And the leg we had to completely rechange after the regional competition. So.
All right, that's great. So, Brent, Yes. Can you tell us a little bit about your research, which I believe is in the area of assistive device technology?
Yes. We wanted to find a way to help blind people get around easier. And at our school, we actually do have 2 blind students. So we incorporated our project with our school. We called it the Smart Stick. It was a cane that uses RFID technology to get around the school, so it'll tell you your location. And it has a Wi-Fi chip and a microprocessor. So when you get into the school, it downloads the map and the RFID chips. So when you get within a few feet of a chip, then it will say what room number you're at, and it will tell you where you are. It's similar to the toll tag booth, but when you go through, you have the tags on your car. Instead, we would have the reader mobile and the tag stationary, so that it could, like, you could hold the stick with the reader in it. And they've also used this in Italy, but we compared ours to theirs after we finished. We figured out that they had it, and we compared ours, and ours is more compact. They actually have to use a shoulder bag to carry around everything, and ours is a little, the tags are further apart than where they were. Theirs were only a few inches away from each other, and ours would be on every classroom of our school.
Wow. That's great. You guys maybe ought to present this to the researchers at Rice. What do you think, Dr. Curl? I think they'd be impressed. Okay. Danny? Almost. All right, we're waiting for the final measurement to determine who's going to compete for third place. Okay.
All right, so Team X is moving on to as the winner. So let's have the Barton Hills team and the River Place team.
So the River Place robots and the Barton Biobots are now going to be competing. You'll get one more shot, another 2.5 minutes to accomplish the missions again. All right, Dr. Lee, you got another shot at it. So, Dr. Diesenhofer, what's the most impressive thing to you about all of this?
Well, the fact that they programmed these robots, and they are performing very complicated tasks. And having programmed myself in my younger years, I know how time-consuming, difficult that is to make a machine sort of react almost in a rational way. So I'm very impressed.
Yep, that's right. Closed-loop control is a really hard concept to master, and imagine programming it in elementary and middle school. It's very impressive. Okay, Danny, are we ready? Okay. All right, River Place robots, are you ready? Dr. Lee, are you ready? All right. The Barton Biobots, are you ready? Dr. Diesenhofer, are you ready? Referee, are you ready? I'm good. All right, 3, 2, 1, Lego!
All right, we got the Barton Hills Biobots attempting the robotic eyes, the bionic eyes, and they got it. Looks like River Place got their syringe. They're waiting for their robot to come back. All right, look like we got the artery stent in place. Very good, Barton Hills. The robots are going to come back to their starting locations, base, to get reprogrammed, to change their programs, maybe change their hardware, and then go out for another mission. Now it looks like River Place is going after their heart missions. They're going to try to get the heart patch up. False start. We call that a misfire. Fire in the hole. All right. Looks like this team needs a restart as well. All right. River Place Robotics going after the heart, the cardiac missions. They're going to try to get their heart patch. And, looks like they're on track. We got a lot of excitement going on. Barton Hills just got their doctor and their syringe. All right, looks like both of the pieces of the cardiac mission have been scored. Both teams are furiously trying to get something going for the next match, the next round. All right, looks like Barton Hills are going after their cardiac missions, trying to get that pacemaker in the heart patch into the heart area. River Place is getting ready to do their bionic eyes. I'm going to ask, please, no flash photography while the robots are running. They use light sensors, yes. All right, looks like the heart patch got in for the Barton Hills robotics team. And we're furiously trying to see if the River Place can get their bionic eyes. Very good, good. All right, we're coming up on 35 seconds left in the match. River Place is waiting for their robot to come back so they don't catch a penalty for doing anything. Looks like we're actually trying to go after professional teamwork here for the Barton Hills. The robots, or the competition floor here, has a doctor and an engineer. And you want to get the doctor and the engineer to the patient who's over there next to the brain. Looks like we got a restart over here. You got 10 seconds remaining. 10 seconds. All right, River Place says we've got ourselves done what we're going to do. 2, 1. Oh, and they ran out of time. Great job, Barton Hills. All right, stop your robots. Great job.
So in the area of competitiveness with Texas, I thought I would share a little bit about FIRST in Texas. We are by far the fastest growing state in the nation in participation in FIRST robotics, which is a great accomplishment. We are very fortunate that the leaders in Texas are big supporters of FIRST and have been funding through the Department of Education and the Workforce Commission the creation of a number of new teams. So in the junior varsity program, which is called FTC, Texas has more teams than any other state in the nation this year. And in the varsity program called FRC, which all of these kids will end up being a part of in a few years, Texas is the fastest growing. We doubled our number of teams 2 years ago, and we're, I think, third now in the nation, closing in on New York and Michigan, which are the states that have the most. But we're very proud of what we've accomplished in the last couple of years here in Texas. And in fact, in April or March of this year, we'll have a new regional down in San Antonio that just will start this year and give the teams in South and Central Texas a great opportunity to compete in our marquee varsity program. This middle school program that you're seeing here today is called First Lego League. Obviously, it's done in partnership with the Lego Company and is by far the largest of the FIRST programs. There are, as I mentioned earlier, on the order of about 100,000 students around the world that participate in First Lego League. And it attracts a large number of kids in all kinds of different areas. A very good percentage of females and minorities in this program as well, which was very encouraging. As I mentioned, the kids compete locally for the right to compete in the national championship. That's always held in the middle of April. This year it will be held in St. Louis. And we combine the middle school, the junior varsity, and varsity championships all in the same event so that the younger children can see the incredible accomplishment of their older colleagues. The high school robotics competition is mind-bogglingly complicated. That competition actually, the season will begin this Saturday at 9 a.m. over NASA TV. The challenge will be submitted to the teams all across the nation. And these high school teams will have 6 weeks to build and program their robots, and they too will compete in regional competitions throughout the nation. We have 3 of those regional competitions here in Texas. As I mentioned, the new one in San Antonio, there's one in Dallas, and then also one in Houston. And the 3 winners from those will also advance to our national championship in St. Louis. One of the important parts of FIRST is the role of the mentor. And so it is highly encouraged for the mentors to actively engage in the development and programming of the robots. And that's not for the purpose of having an expert robot engineer game the system, but it is instead to have the kids see a real-life scientist or a real-life engineer working on a problem with them, so that they get a real sense of what it's like to practice science and medicine and engineering, and to help them see what the real heroes are doing. And a lot of the sponsors of TAMEST are also sponsors of FIRST, and many of the engineers and scientists that work in the sponsoring companies and at many of our universities volunteer on these teams to supply the role models that we want in the FIRST program. There's an amazing statistic that I heard the other day about FIRST, and that is that this year, 10% of the freshmen at MIT had participated in FIRST. And that doesn't seem like a large number, but to imagine an after-school program has influenced that percentage of the incoming freshmen at one of our top institutions is amazing. It's clearly having a huge impact. And companies often are very aggressive in recruiting students who had participated in FIRST because of the great experience they get in the competition. All right, Danny, do you think we're ready for our championship? All right, so we have the randomness from San Antonio. Are you ready? Dr. Gilman? We're ready. Okay. All right, and we've got Team X from Westlake. Are you ready? Dr. Curl, looks like he's ready. Referee, are you ready? All right, 3, 2, 1, let go!
All right, both teams are going off. Looks like Team X has the cast in hand, but they're putting down their bionic eyes. All right, Team X is going to get, oh, there's the heart stent, or the artery stent. Team X is about to get the cast. Oh, almost got the cast. The cast has to be all the way over the bone. But that was a great attempt. All right, looks like over here, we tried to get the syringe, but unfortunately we did it a little bit too hard. All right, looks like Team X just did both of their cardiac parts. Got the heart patch and the pacemaker in play. Looks like over here the randomists are getting ready to do their artery stent, while Team X, just narrowly missed their syringe, but they did get the doctor in the area, so they're going for some professional teamwork. Both teams are ready for their next shot. Looks like we're reattempting. There we go. We reattempted the syringe and got the syringe. Looks like the randomists are trying to do their cardiac missions. And they got both. And they got their artery stent. Very good team. All right, looks like Team X is going after the bone. Yeah, special bone repair. Very good. And they kicked the ball into the soccer goal. Very good. All right, looks like the randomness are going after their professional teamwork. It's okay, you don't have another one. Both teams have roughly 50 seconds left. 50 seconds left, teams. All right, they're trying to go after robotic sensitivity. Oh, and they hit the robotics. The robotic sensitivity mission is very sensitive. Oh, and they got their medicine. They dispensed their medicine. Very good team. And looks like they went after their brain. Oh, yeah, they got the brain twice. Team might be a little stuck there, but that's okay. There's 15 seconds left. 10 seconds left. Team X is attempting to go after the brain. Let's see if they can make it. There we go. We got their people and their items. Up, and time's up just right before they did their door. Very good, teams.
All right, good job, teams. So, Dr. Gilman, what impresses you the most about all this?
The kids' enthusiasm and the fun they're having, and the fact that they're doing this is amazing, but they're really having a great time doing it.
That's great. All right, so Danny is going to tabulate the totals for our teams, and we'll soon have winners. This is really good practice for these teams. The competition, as I said, finals, which will be in a couple of weekends, it's really intense, and the pressure that you see these kids under to get these points is amazing. I bet between now and the competition, these guys will have figured it out. It's not impossible for the teams to score a perfect number of points on the missions. I've seen it done numerous times, but very, very hard to do. So, Dr. Curl, what impresses you the most about all this?
Well, enthusiasm is probably the most impressive thing, and also the way they function as a team. You know, they really are a team. They're not. Everybody knows what they're going to do and when they're going to do it, and I'm very, very impressed with that and with the cleverness in the design of the research project.
Yep, that's great. They are very impressive. Do you have any applications for rice handy? Maybe we can hand it to these guys. Another interesting statistic about FIRST is there are about 40,000 volunteers across the nation that make FIRST happen. It's a huge organization, and it's almost all run by volunteers. There's a small staff up at the headquarters in New Hampshire that run the program and set up the games and administer it, but almost all of the real work is done locally in all of the communities by the 40,000 some odd volunteers. It's a great opportunity also for the scientific and engineering community to give back in something that they're experts in. And so it's generally not very hard to find volunteers that want to participate. And there's something for all ages, whether you want to work with the junior high, middle, or high school teams. Here in Texas, we are very fortunate. The great universities in Texas support FIRST in a lot of different ways. I know UT Dallas is a big supporter of FIRST in North Texas, UT Austin, Texas A&M, the community colleges, virtually every university we have is participating and helping supply mentors for the students here in Texas for FIRST. All right, in just a few minutes, I'll give the mic over to Danny, and he'll tell us who our winners are in today's challenge. I do want to take this opportunity to thank all our guest coaches, our Nobel laureates, for being good sports and being our guest coaches for this. It means a whole lot to have you participated. I'm sure the students really appreciated getting to know you and having you on their team. So thank you so much for participating. And also a big round of to the parents and the sponsors who brought the teams out here. We know it's a lot of hard work to sponsor these teams, and we appreciate everything you do as well. So thank you very much. All right, Danny, let's announce the winners.
All right, this was a great head-to-head matchup that we had here. 4 great teams that I'm really excited to see in the championship tournament next weekend. River Place Robotics got 3rd place. In their second match, they got 130 points. There's a total of 400 points on this competition field. At least doing a fourth at 25% of it is a great honor here. All right, coming in at 170 points, we've got the Barton Hills Robotics. Very good. All right, number 2 team at 195 points, almost half the points that we've got here, at least in their second match. In their first match, they did a little bit better. Looks like we've got the Randomnists at 195. And our tournament winners for today, Team X at 235 points. Very good, Team X.
All right, well, that's it for our program. Thanks to the teams for competing, and thanks to everyone who participated, and hope you got a glimpse to the future Nobel laureates that are going to come from our great state of Texas. All right, thank you.